Hey friends, it's Friday, and it's been a little while since I did an energy update and shared some of the themes that I'm finding in my life and in my work in the world. And thank you so much for asking. A couple people reached out in the last week and said, are you going to do another energy update? What's the energy? It's crazy, right? So thank you so much for reaching out, because that encourages me to show up here. So I'm at the clinic today doing a little energy update check-in, and I want to say it's been intense. And I want to show you a little bit of what's going on here and representing that for me. So let's see how the video does. But if you've been here, you know we have this incredible tree that's been the grounding, healing anchor of this magical land where our clinic is. And well, I guess you can tell it got taken down. And so I've been thinking a lot about grief and letting go, as it is the fall, which is the metal phase in 5-element theory, and it's a time that's all about letting go. And I thought I would spend a fair bit of the month pondering some qualities of metal, such as letting go and also receiving, because there is a really close relationship in this theory to grief and letting go, and also then being able to receive inspiration and the heavenly chi from above. In fact, the metal phase has to do with the breath, the ability to receive and let go. But as I was mentioning, the energy has been intense. I will comment a little more specifically and say, last week, what I saw in the clinic and with my clients virtually was a lot of surprise, abrupt anger, and a lot of tears. Lots and lots of tears. And I cried with many of you, and it was really beautiful. And then this week, I would say the energy has been a bit more like putting us in the cave, an invitation to sit in the cave. And so I thought I'd share a story today about the cave. It's a story that I've shared often and that has helped me a lot through some big losses. And so I'm sitting here by the stones that are housed here in the clinic. 4 stones are also part of the metal element, and the stones bear witness to the mystery of time. And I don't know how old that tree was, and I wonder if I'll sit there and count all the rings to find out, but it was very old. And unlike the trees, the stones, they last a little bit longer. The trees, the wood, the plan, the strategy, not so much. And so as we let go and we talk about grief, I'm really just tapping into the collective grief and going to share a story about the cave. The cave is a place that lives inside the heart, the lungs. Inside your heart and lungs, in each of ours, there is a cave. And in that cave, we put our things. We put all the stones and rocks and things that have hurt us. We put them in our heart. We put them in the cave. And our culture encourages us to do that, to get over it, to grieve quickly and move on. And so we pile up all these stones in our cave. And the interesting thing about grief is it becomes an invitation to go into the cave. And what happens one day is you put a big rock or a boulder in there because things just hurt so bad, and you realize, oh my gosh, there's so much in there. I can't put more in there anymore. What's going on? And so the invitation of grief is to go sit in the cave and spend some time with the stones and the rocks. And there's this mysterious quality of grief that I have learned firsthand and heard so many stories about, where when you're feeling a little bit of it, it reminds you of all the other things, not just people who've gone or trees that have had to get taken down, but of dreams unfulfilled or wishes that you had you may not see come true. And I know that we have a lot of collective grief right now that's never really been acknowledged. And so we go sit in the cave, and the invitation is to look at what you put there and get to know yourself more, to polish those stones, that rubble, those boulders you put there, and see what type of crystal it is. To get curious about that which you miss the most, that you are sad about saying goodbye to, and to let it be like a clue towards what's most meaningful to you. And so, easier said than done. How do we go sit in the cave and polish those stones and rocks we put in there, and polish them up and notice what kind of crystal they are? And there's some ways, meditation, breathing, journaling, baths. Those are all some ways. There are more. I'd love to know yours. How do you sit with the things that you are longing for or missing or saying goodbye to? But what I really am thinking about right now is that this time I got to go to the Day of the Dead celebration in San Francisco a few years back, and it changed me. And what I saw there was a celebration of all the things that we have lost as being quite fun and celebratory. Everyone brought pictures, and apparently a lot of loved ones lost, like Cheese Whiz. Remember that stuff in a can? There was Cheese Whiz everywhere. There were all these favorite foods of the loved ones. There was music. There was bands playing songs for their band members. It was a real hoot. It was quite a party. And this way of coming together, I went with my dear friend who had lost some people in her life that year, as had I, and we just loved it. And it brought us closer together, and we had a really good time. And so I love this idea of the Day of the Dead. I know it's not something I'm an expert on at all, but this idea of celebrating those that we have loved and lost in a way that's more playful, that just brings them to life. Maybe even sharing the things that they most enjoyed. And so I want to do something like that. The tree is inspiring me to create maybe like a community altar towards that which we are grieving. I'm really open to ideas. Also, if you know anyone in Asheville, if there is a Day of the Dead or something like that celebration already going on publicly, I'd like to be involved, because I'm just aware that the energy this week has been inviting us all into the cave, and it can be scary to go there alone, but we actually don't have to do it alone. I know we're all alone together, and that's what I'm suggesting, is that we play with grief in a new way, and we let it inspire us and help us see that which is more meaningful. And like the fall and the leaves that get so beautiful before they fall, just get a little more curious about how we say goodbye to things. And so I don't have answers, but I've been having a lot of deep thoughts in my own cave this week. And for those of you that asked, I think that was the energy of this week. What's going on in your cave? And what beautiful crystals are there? And may we not be afraid to look there and get right with it, and let those things that we are sad about just highlight that which we love the most, and measure all the love we've had in our life. And so that's my ramble from the clinic. And I'm sending love to everyone, and I'll keep you posted on my ideas for the altar, or the invitation around the altar, and I'm open to yours as well. And I feel some levity today. I hope that you do too. When the last bit of the tree came down today, the bump happened, and I thought, all right, we're gonna get through this. And we are. And hey, it's not all doom and gloom. I'm not trying to say it's doom and gloom here. But that tree was something we never expected to say goodbye to. And sometimes it's those things that remind you of the mysterious quality of grief. One tree can remind you of a lot of other people and lifestyles and lifetimes. And I'll just say there is that is spoken of in 5-element theory too, the mysterious element of grief. So don't you feel bad if you're crying over a broken toenail or something. it's pretty mysterious, the thing that sets you off and reminds you of that which you most miss. So I miss you all. I'm glad to have a few of you here on this channel, and I hope you have a beautiful fall weekend and notice how magical the trees can be when they're letting go, as can we.